Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. My name's Tom Novak, and here's Dagmar. I had to take her out outside because it's fierce out. It was 51 degrees, and now it's dropping. It's supposed to drop to 21 tonight, but I got most of the soil out of her roots, as you can see. But this is her root structure. That's Dagmar's roots. Now we're going to try to fit her from that big pot into this little pot. I got some sphagnum moss in there. So what I'm going to do right now, get my shears. Let's see, where did I put them? Right here. And we're going to take one long root out because we got to fit her in this little pot. Now, we want to get some of her downward facing roots out. Let me see if I can get it a little closer for you so you can see it. How's that? Get that out of the way. Pardon the mess, but I'm trying to get everything in for the winter, but it's becoming a Herculean task to do it all. So, her roots are strong, they're vibrant, but I gotta take the downward facing roots out. I know it's gonna be a rough cut for her. I mean, I'm sorry, Dagmar, but it's something we gotta do. Now here's a big crossing root here, so we can't have this one because I don't want it to tangle itself. I mean, she's really in there. So I have to cut close to there to get some of that out, but it's hard to get her out. If the lighting's bad, I apologize, but best I can do. Now we got one coming in from here down. I know Nigel would love doing these roots, and I wish he was here. I really do. You're gonna really help me pull her out. So this one doesn't have much feeder roots on it. So we'll take that one out of the way. I was gonna do it outside, but the wind turned fierce. I mean, it is fierce out there. It's a big north wind blowing out there. So it was like 54 degrees. It's supposed to drop to like 21 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's going to be a cold day, or a cold night. So I got to get a lot more plants in. Okay, so this one's got hardly any roots on it, so I think we can take it off here because I don't want to cut too much, because she's been out there in 28 degree Fahrenheit weather along with all my other plants in the microclimates. Okay, this one's too far gone down this way, but there's some roots over here, so I'm going to cut her here. Even though they're coming down, here's a big root right over here. Cut that out. Cut this one out. And over here, I don't know if you can see it, but I have to be rough with her because we got to get her in. We got to fit her into that little pot. Now there's a downward facing root right there, but there's a lot of feeder roots coming out of here. So that's good. I know she looks like a spider with her claws coming down, but that's her root system. Nothing I can do. Okay, now this one is a good feeder root. It's got nice feeder roots on there, so we're going to leave that one intact. Now let's see over here what this one is. This one's got no feeder roots on it, so we're going to get that one off. And this comes right to about here, so we're going to get it over here. Now you can see all these roots growing down, nice thick ones, so we got to get this one out best we can. Sorry, Dagmar, there's a broken piece of pot. That's why I got to use your older shears. Now this root here, just starting to get a feeder root here, so we're going to just cut it back a little bit. I'm gonna leave her claws there. Maybe they'll sprout some roots from over here. This one has some nice feeder roots. This one's going crooked. I don't know if we can find it. We'll just cut it back because I don't want it to girdle itself. Dagmar, they say when fruit trees don't produce fruit, what they do is they go and they cut a lot of their root system off. So then they start to flower again. See, here's a nice root here. Here's this one's all curly-cued. So I'll take this one out and just cut it about here if you can see it. Okay, how's Dagmar doing? How you doing, girl? You always got to talk to your plants because when you're doing something drastic, they got to know you're there for them. So here's another girdling root that I took out. It's all brittle, but I got it out of there. And here's another girdling root over here. Let's see if I can get that out. There we go. Dagmar's been with me since 1985, so she's a tough girl. She's been in through a lot of winters, and what I do is I harden my trees off to the cold so that when arthritis flares up and stuff, they're able to take the cold until I can get them into the house. So here's chopping this root off. There's another one right here, but I don't know where it goes and I can't pull it out, but as you can see, the roots on her is nice. And I took all this out because, let me go with this, the back of our root rake, and get more of the soil out of her. Now I got a 50-50 mix of perlite and vermiculite to make this mix a little bit lighter than from what I had. And then as I add it into the soil, I'm going to put some, mix in some peat, some more unknown sphagnum moss, and if I can find my worm castings, I'll put some of them in there too. But you can see that she's lighter. Instead of being 100 pounds, I can lift her now. I get most of this soil out of the way so you can see her. I'm doing it on the basement floor, and I got my padded mat here, so I know I'm going to feel it in the morning. Okay, so from raking, I got these a little bit damaged right here. You can see it. So I'm going to just, if I can get my pruners out of the way. Now pruners you always sterilize before you do a major cut on these things, which we're done. So this one's a no good, no goodie. So let's get in there and cut it. I don't know if I can get this one out. I mean, she's really, really tangled up. Years of not repotting it, which I couldn't get around to her. But now, I'm feeling a lot better because I've been fasting all week with just no bread, no green, no fish. I used to eat fish once a week, twice a week, but I'm cutting back on that. No rice. So far so good. Just juice, watermelon, fruit, and I don't know what else. There's more junk in there. Got some nice roots, feeder roots on her. So let's see if Dagmar will fit in here. Nope. So this root and this root's in the way, so I'm going to have to cut this one off. And sad but sure, I'm going to have to cut this one off. Just like that. But there's nothing I can do in order for me to fit Dagmar in there. I mean, you can see the mess I got down here. So I've been doing pretty good with this fast. And it's been taking away the arthritis. You know, the pains are there, but I didn't take no pills. And they didn't attack me like I thought they would, so that's good. So the fasting really, really works. Okay, so now you can see the roots here, so we're just going to cut these. Downward facing roots. Nigel, where are you? I need you. Nigel is the master of roots. I mean, he can do a root work like you wouldn't believe. Okay, now let's get some of this out of the way, this soil. I mean, Dagmar's a fighter, so hopefully this is going to all help her out. And I'm going to add some more Azos and Mykos to her root system. Now, there she is. And she'll just fit in here. Right about there. So, like, this root here is no good. So we've seen that. So we can cut this one off and this one off. Oop, the pot's in the way. Cut these two roots off right there. She's got a lot of good roots on her. A lot of good roots. Now this one's coming in a crossing way. You can see that. So we're just going to cut that one off here. Now we can do more major root work later on, but she's got to grow a good year yet. I want her to grow. And by talking to Dagmar and by putting in the beneficial bacteria, it's going to really help her to grow. Okay, so I think that'll work. I had to drill the holes in the pot, if you can see them. And I dampened the sphagnum moss real good. So what I'm going to do is take some of my 50-50 mixture and put it in there. Sorry for all that dust. But I should have. I'm going to have to. Phew. Well, what are you going to do? That's life. Put that in. Remember that song? Smoke gets in your eyes. Well, this is perlite dust gets in your eyes. Okay, so we got this pretty well set in there. I think we can put some more in. So as I pour, I'm just gonna get the cover out. Dust it all away. And then I'm going to take some couple of handfuls of our pine bark mulch into there. Here's my worm castings. I knew I had it around here someplace. Looks like I have to buy some more. Put some in there. I wish I could have did this outside, but the wind is fierce. It was blowing everything around. Okay. I'm going to have all the dust. I didn't sift this perlite because this way here, it keeps whatever. Next year it'll keep the night terror out from digging. Okay, so there's Dagmar in the pot. Something like that. I think she looks pretty straight right there. So I got my measuring cup here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some peat moss and put it in with the rest of the mix. Ah, these gloves ripped. The reason why I'm wearing gloves is because my hands crack like crazy in the wintertime. But what are you going to do? I was a kid once. Played in the dirt. Call it dirt before I knew a living thing is soil. So let's put under Dagmar there. Come on, little girl. Remember, talk to your plants. They'll love you for it. So, let's see. I'm going to have to put some more right in the middle so we can form a mound to get any air pockets out. There we go. All this is live. All live as I can have it. Okay, I just mixed another handful in. So I gotta straighten Dagmar out. There we go, just like that. Now planting her in the basement right now will save me a chore from putting her in the basement from the outside. Later on I'm gonna have to figure out how to make handles for these pots. Now she went out of that big pot with all that soil in there. She was over 100 pounds. Okay, so we got a root coming out here. So we're going to take it off to there. There we go. Ah, Dagmar, what did we forget for you? Okay, Tom. You're not thinking. You're trying to get Dagmar in, but you're not thinking. So let's get our Azos on there. Gotta get our Azos in there. These little condiment bottles really work. Don't be afraid to put this on, because that'll really help the roots to grow, and it'll take the stress out of potting her. Okay, now we got to get the Mykos out. You can see how I put it on, how liberally I put it on her. Just like that. I want her to really, really get out of shock from planting. Hey, that mistake worked out pretty good. Look at that. That helped me get her in. There. Just like that. Perfect. Let me put this in. Okay. Now, she's straight as best we can. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to mix another 2 handfuls of pine bark mulch into here because they like an acid soil. But there we go. Just get it in there. Don't be afraid. Today is November 21st of 2021. It was 54 degrees this as a high today, but real nice this morning. But then it's supposed to drop like a rock. And my little girl, I don't want her to freeze out there, because she's been with me through thick and thin. I mean, she's been through worse weather where I had the chance to cover her. Okay. My skewer. Let's get it in there. Let's fire it in. Gotta fire in this mix in. Gotta fire it in. Fire it in real good. Fire it in. There we go. Atta girl. Be patient, my girl, be patient. Don't forget, talk to your plants. They gotta know that you're there for them. It's gonna sound weird, but when you're doing a major root pruning, you really have to settle them down so they don't be afraid of what you're doing. I mean, she's my little girl. 1985. She's becoming a teenager now. Okay, so let's get this in. Getting her out of the pot. Well, it took me an hour to get her out of the pot and get all the soil worked off of her so I can lift her. There we go. Getting all that mix in. I mean, you got to be drastic. If you can't lift it and you got a beautiful tree, you got to talk to them. You got to put your Mykos Azos beneficial bacteria in there. And you know why? Because I'll show you something in the next video of what they did. What the WP does. Okay. See, there's an air pocket right there. So, let me get some more. I think I mixed just enough. There. Put some more pine bark mulch in there. Ah, dust. And you think I'm done today when I get done with this potting? By the time we're done with this, it's going to be close to 5:30, and then I got to hurry up and bring in a lot of my tender plants. I got to make room for them. What I'll do is before I make room, I'll just put them down here and clear off that little bench I got there and put them there until I can get the table set for them. And then I got my 55-gallon fish tank to do. So, you think Tom's got nothing to do? He got a lot to do. And you can see what the wood glue does. It dries clear. So don't be afraid to use wood glue. I use the Tight Bond. It always dries clear for me. There we go. Come on, Dagmar. Hang in there, little girl. Hang in there. We're getting there. We're getting there, Dagmar. I'll put in the description once I get done with her potting so you know what the temperature is and what it's going to drop tonight till. But this is her root pruning and this is her pot. This is her new home. I know it's a little drastic. Okay, knees, don't fail me now. Get me up. Sorry for the burp. There, let's go. I think we got her pretty well set. And now she's going to sit and sleep for the winter. And if she's starting to grow, I'll let you know. Dagmar, you gotta be with me. See, here's some more. So that's how we're doing it. Now let me wet her in. Just for now, and I'll give her a drink, good drink of water by the sewer in the basement. But for now, just so you can see how I'm doing it. Put that that there. And then for the top, let's see. Dagmar, you got a little hole down there. Let me fill that up. Get all them holes in there filled, all them little crevasses. You know, I didn't think she's gonna fit in this little pot, but she's been a nice little darling. And there we go. Put the fire that soil in. Ah, the dust. The dust is fierce. I'll tell you, it is fierce. Breathing this stuff. Is something else. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember, smoke gets in your eyes. Well, this is perlite gets in your eyes. That was a good old-fashioned song. There we go. Atta girl, my baby. Look at that. Look how beautiful she is. See? Dagmar, 1985. Okay, so let's put that in there. And then before we're going to dress her up, I'm going to put some pine bark mulch there. Just like that. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because I gotta wet her in by the sewer, so I don't want too much because this is gonna probably fall off. But just so you can see the potting a little better. And then I'll put some more on there. Up. So let's get this wet in real good. There's Dagmar. Okay, everybody. Keep your fingers crossed that she's gonna pull through, and I think she will pull through. Because she's a tough little girl. Dagmar's been my favorite tree. I know she's my favorite tree, and she's gonna produce and grow and give us joy in the spring. From around that long, we're gonna see her in the spring. You never know. So there's Dagmar. So I'm pooped. I gotta take this plastic off later, but it's Sunday, November 21st. And you know what that is? It's family night. So grab the wives and husbands, grab your children, sit back, relax, enjoy the evening with some old-time Lawrence Welk shows from the 50s and 60s. Grandma and Grandpa,